Okay, so now we're going to work on, well, what happens if I have 4 terms and I have no GCF, such as this example? Well, I'm going to try to use factoring by grouping and group my first 2 terms together and group my last 2 terms together and do my GCF process like I did on the front. So between a cubed and a 4a squared, they have an a squared in common. And I'm only worried about these 2 terms right now. So a cubed divided by a squared is an a. Bring down your minus sign. 4a squared divided by a squared, your a squareds cancel and you have a minus 4. Now, I'm not concerned about these 2, only the last 2 right now. There's a plus, so I'm going to bring down a plus, and then the GCF between these 2 is a 3. So I'm going to factor out their GCF, so this divided by this is an a, and this divided by this is a minus 4. Now, very important before I go to the next step, a minus 4 and a minus 4 are the same. So I am factoring out my a minus 4, and then what's in front, the a squared and the 3, will make my next set, I don't need that plus sign there, sorry, will make my next set of parentheses. So I'm going to have a squared plus 3. Now if anybody's wondering, well, what if I were to write my a squared plus 3 in the front and then my a minus 4? That is also correct by the commutative property of multiplication. This answer or this answer would be correct. And if I decided to FOIL, or you could use your box method if that works for you, that's fine too. So if I FOIL this set or I FOIL this set, I should get back to my 4 terms that I started with. So if I did first a squared times a, I would have a cubed. And then if I did outside, a squared times a minus 4, and then inside 3a, and then last, that would give me my minus 12. So a squared, and sorry about that, I left my square off there. So now if I can compare these guys to these, they are the same. If your order were to be different and you had plus 3a minus 4a squared, that would still be the same as your original as long as everybody has the same signs as what you started with. All right, let's look at 2 more. So again, let's start with the first 2 and take out our GCF, which is going to be a 2. And that's going to leave me with x minus 5y. And then when I go to the second set, notice this second set starts with a negative, so I'll take out a negative, and then the GCF is a z. So when I do negative divided by negative, I'm going to get a positive. And zx divided by z, the z's would cancel, and I have an x. Positive divided by negative is a negative, and 5zy divided by z, the z's would cancel, and I'm left with 5y. All right, notice that the x minus 5y in the parentheses is the same, so I'm factoring that out. And then what's in front, the 2 minus z, makes the second set. And again, just like the last one, if you wanted to do it as 2 minus z times x minus 5y, that works by the commutative property of multiplication. And just to save a little bit of time, I'm going to skip the FOIL step, but this should, when I FOIL it together, get me back to the original.